Triple M NRL Journos show, Adam Peacock alongside Michael Chammas from the Sydney Morning Herald.
Yeah, I'll talk about Papenhuyzen meeting with R360, and I'm looking forward to some of Danny Weidler's conspiracy theories.
And Danny Weidler is here from 9 News.
Yeah, the weird world of television, what goes on behind the scenes, what you see on the camera.
Oh, there you go. Let's go. So the Journos, you heard the intro there, and Chammy was here for the intro, but actually this is how it works with this show. We do the intro after the show.
Yeah.
So that's why you've already heard the intro with Chammy. But actually, this is the start of the show. This is the first thing we're recording at the top of the show, real, and he ain't here.
It actually feels good.
He's a victim of Sydney traffic.
It feels good, though.
Did you organise that Sydney traffic?
Well,
Cue the traffic. Danny Weidler, like in the Truman Show.
I wish I could every week.
I got stuck in it as well.
Yes. Well, I got a bit of it, but you guys had further to come.
Chammy's travelling from west of the Great Dividing Range, so that's where he lives, in the west of Sydney.
I came from Bondi. It wasn't great.
No, I came from Motorvale. It wasn't
40
great.
minutes to get into the city.
Yeah, exactly. It was rain in Sydney with traffic. For those listening around the rest of the country, everyone forgets how to drive.
What happens?
I don't know. I don't know. Everyone forgets that the accelerator is the one on the right and the brake is the one in the middle.
Can we get Ray Hadley onto this?
Yeah, well, where is Ray? Where is Ray?
That's another thing.
He's dropped off quick, isn't he?
That's another thing I don't know.
Anyway, before we get going, Danny, with the footy stuff, you picked up something on the sounding board, which I now listen to religiously.
The
after
podcast we listen to, yeah.
Yeah, Craig Hutchison and Damien Barrett.
Yeah.
Damo and Hutchie, but if they were on Fox Footy, we wouldn't be able to call them Damo and Hutchie.
No.
And I think this is extended to Fox League. It's the naming conventions of the people who are on air. Everyone is now, you would be Daniel, I would be Adam, and Michael would be Michael if he was here.
So they're doing the formal names and no nicknames, at least in the commentary, it seems like. It appears to be that. And so I made a couple of calls about this, and I also brought it up in the office yesterday. And the calls I made, I spoke to, or I texted with Steve Crawley, who's the boss of Fox, and he said, yes, it's his idea. And it also applies to Fox's league coverage.
It does.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Yeah, so this, when I said Fox Footy, it's the AFL,
yeah,
but it's gone over to Fox League.
It's gone to Fox, well, in Fox League. So, I guess Greg Brandy Alexander, who we all know as Brandy, has to be Greg.
It's like he's changing his...
Is Kev Kevy?
Yeah, everyone calls him Kevy.
So he can be Kevy.
Here he is.
Chammy. We're on it.
Hello, Michael.
Honestly,
we've described the Sydney traffic. It's okay.
So
we've got through that.
I'm not worried about the Sydney traffic. I demand respect. And for you to start without me, I'm the captain of this team. Do you see Bulldogs running out without Stephen Crichton at the front?
Yeah, well, in Origin time, yes.
Yeah, don't you have to earn respect rather than demand it?
No, I demand respect.
So you don't earn
it. I was about to turn around once I heard that you were going to start without me.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, I was.
Why is he looking at me saying I was going to start with
you?
I've got a hard out.
Now, do you think...
Mate, if you've got a hard... what?
It's a TV term.
There is one
I was a bit concerned
captain
about
here, and that's Adam.
I've got a hard out. So...
I don't want to hear about your hard outs.
Yeah, okay? When I get to that hard out, Chammy...
If you've got some issues in your life, let me know.
Here's something to placate you, okay? There's another word you can use one day.
He doesn't know what it means.
No. That once I go, you can host, all right? And it will happen. This rundown is so long
I was
today.
offered to host today.
Yeah.
And I turned it down, but I said, I'm not doing it without Peacock.
Yeah. Well, here we are.
And you did it without me.
For 3 minutes. We're talking about no nicknames. Fox League. Ban nicknames.
Fox League have now said, like Greg Alexander has to be Greg
Because
Alexander.
if I called Greg Alexander, I'd
Kevin.
No, Brandy. If I called him Greg, it'd just feel weird. If I was sitting here and go,
what,
Greg?
The nickname applies to the commentator. I thought it was to the players. You didn't want to hear someone.
No. It's when they're talking on a panel.
So
no nicknames.
Steve Crawley said it's definitely one of his things. And I asked my head producer of sport yesterday in the newsroom, Chris Hodgkinson, and I said, do you remember when Crawley was here previously? Because he was a boss of Nine Sport. And he had a recollection that going way back, Paul Vaughton was Paul Vaughton in the commentary. Ray Warren wasn't Rabs. It was Ray Warren.
I can't wait for Monday when I turn around to Phil and say, what's happening at the Dogs?
Might not be...
Oh, no, I'm calling him Phil from now on. I'm going to do it on Monday.
We call Gus, Top Dog, Big Kahuna.
Chammy, Catwalker.
At least Chammy's sort of my name, but Catwalker.
Well, I haven't been called Catwalker yet on
I'm going to do it.
9.
Or People's Champ.
People's Champ.
I'm going to Phillip him.
Phillip?
Monday. Yeah,
just
Phillip.
A full Phillip.
Well, it's his name. Phillip's his name.
But hang on, but we're not... It doesn't apply at 9.
Oh, well, I'm applying it.
Okay, you make your own rules.
I'm Philippine on Monday. Okay.
It's interesting, though, because Steve Crawley, who I worked under at Fox for a time, everyone calls him Crawls.
That's right.
So I don't know if it extends to the office as well.
I don't know if it extends to the office, but it's just an interesting... the weird stuff goes on in TV. Like, I guess I'm wondering whether it's to make it so it's not so blokey on...
Is that why
colloquial.
The other day Sean Johnson was calling Andrew Voss? But everyone says Vossi. But in the commentary, he was calling him Voss. He kept saying Voss. And I thought, no one's ever called him Voss.
How is Sean Johnson going to go with this? I'm not sure, because he's a pretty kind of laid-back character.
Yeah. But he's calling him, maybe he's already applied it.
How good is he, by the way, on it?
He's brilliant.
He's really good.
Crawls, Steve Crawley, he is a bit of a traditionalist. He does like guys wearing, people wearing suit and tie.
Yeah.
Which I...
Seeing Hindy in a suit and tie on the Sunday ticket looks a bit weird, doesn't it?
Well, for me, like on a weekend sitting down on a couch, I'm not that way, because I think they, with all due respect, and they look like real estate agents when they're sitting there all in ties talking about football.
Real estate agents.
Yeah, exactly. Reputable.
But
reputable.
Yeah, it suits a Cooper Cronk, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He seems like a suit and tie sort of guy.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a couple of stories about getting into TV?
Yeah.
And wardrobe. I don't know if I've told them on the pod or not. When I was hired from the paper.
You've told this story.
I have.
Is this about Ginjo?
Yeah, about...
Tell it again. I want to laugh
about hang on, this is the one where I get to meet the head of news and the lady who does wardrobe.
Wardrobe, yeah.
And I'm standing there with Max Utrich, who's the head of news, and David Ginger, who just hired me. And he said, "This is our stylist." And she turns to David with me there and says, "David, what do you expect me to do with this nightclub bouncer?"
Did you have the fro then?
I had the shaved head.
Oh,
the one they like to bring up on 100%
nightclub bouncer. Could you imagine this bloke? How many people would be getting in without any hassle if you were a nightclub bouncer?
And so that was one story. Like, because image apparently is important in television.
Yeah,
apparently.
Ginger. I hope I don't get in trouble.
Can I ring Ginge? Shall we ring him and ask him?
He
look at you, speed dialing, one of the most powerful men in Australian media.
Let's get him on the show.
Ginge told me a story where they were talking about he addressed 200 of the most influential women in television at the time. This is 15, 20 years ago. And one of the things he said was, "Look, looks are not important in television. I hired Danny Weidler."
Oh, that's gold.
Yeah.
He needs a phone call. He needs a phone call. We got to get him on.
He couldn't wait to tell me that story. Like, as soon as why is he doing this?
I don't know why he's doing this. He gets bored quickly.
He's a name dropper.
He's been here in for 3 minutes.
He doesn't answer this phone call. He's dead to me officially. He's probably what's he
good.
doing right
I
now?
hope he does
Surfing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably doing something important.
He's living up in Byron Bay, enjoying his life.
Mate, he's too important for
Why
a
does he
bloke
want
like
to pick
you.
up the call on a Wednesday morning?
I just
Michael
called my
Chammas?
wife. She didn't answer.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's standard. Let's get to the footy. Ryan Papenhuyzen, R360. Danny, you got wind of this a few weeks ago. Chammy, you reported it earlier this week.
I flopped on.
You've done the hindy. You've
I think
jumped
I mentioned
on.
it on 100% Footy a couple of weeks ago that they were interested in him, and
it's 100% football now, guys. No nicknames. Okay.
His management. Well, the show's called 100% Footy.
We're changing the name.
Okay. We're not Fox.
Okay, true.
So anyway, and the manager didn't deny at the time that there was definitely interest, but he wouldn't go on the record and say, yes, this is what's happening. But I see that Chammy's extracted even more information out of it, and there has been talks between his management, or was it Ryan himself?
Ryan himself met with the R360 organisers in Melbourne on Sunday. They're in town for the Lions tour. They watched the game at the MCG. And the next day they met with Papenhuyzen. Now, I tried to get more information out of Clinton Schifosky, his manager, yesterday. But he answered, but he didn't want to talk about it, declined to comment on
Which
the situation.
means it's true.
Well, yeah, if it wasn't true, he'd be saying to you, mate.
I said, if you want me to put a quote in there that's not true, then I'm happy to. But he said, no, I'm not commenting. So
on the money.
It's going to be interesting. I don't know if Papenhuyzen goes. Like, we'll make it clear. Just because I've written that he's met with him doesn't mean I'm saying he's going to go. And we've seen this before with Ryan. I think they're not afraid to test the market. Last year, Phil Gould flew to Melbourne to meet with Papenhuyzen. On that day, I think he told him that he was going to stay at Melbourne for another 12 months.
Long flight for Gus. Long way to go for Gus to fly down to Melbourne.
Did you hear the story what happened? Apparently...
Well, he flew down to see him.
Yeah, just to be told he's not signing.
Yeah.
Gus wouldn't have been happy.
Well-
Just tell him on the phone you're not coming.
I wonder if there'll be another if he's ever on the market again.
Well, he's on the market November 1.
Whether they'll fly down to Melbourne to see him again. I'm tipping no.
That was
Maybe Paps can fly up. This time.
Look, I can respect what he was thinking. Like, I should tell Philip in person, and so he's flown down to Melbourne to give him the respect. But I don't know if Gus would have been too impressed with that.
It was probably a phone call, wasn't it? You could just say, Gus, I'm really appreciative.
Maybe if you want to see FaceTime. This is meet halfway.
No, but if he lived in Sydney in the Shire or somewhere, and then you just drove across town, that's good. That's a mark of respect.
It's a big effort to go down to be
or
told.
fly yourself to Sydney and meet with Philip and have a chat with him.
Philip.
So this R360, I've got my doubts. Even though Mike Tyndall, who's behind it, he's part of the royal family, of course, now after marrying into the royal family.
Yep.
But he's got the contacts, and there's all kinds of backers and all of that. There's word is that he's signed over 100 players.
Yeah.
Like maybe 200. I'm not
they've
sure.
also signed confidentiality agreements, and
there's a whole blow up coming in rugby just to
massive
about eligibility for national teams and will this take away from national teams and so there's all of that to play out. So this isn't a case of this is definitely happening and it's start date April 2027. Still up in the air.
Well, we had David Rawlings, the rugby and league manager, on last week, and he didn't seem that confident about it all, and he didn't feel like it was going to have that big an impact on rugby league, from what I could gather. And I know that the old buzzard Phil Rothfield has come out on another podcast and said that he doesn't think any of these league blokes are in danger as well. But obviously, they are talking to league people, and whether
the danger doesn't have to mean they go, Danny. Like Papenhuyzen could meet with them and have an offer of 1.5 plus to go to over there. So suddenly the clubs are competing with that, which then inflates the market.
I was going to say that. Does that distort the market? How? If Papenhuyzen say, "Oh, here's 1.2 from R360 on the table," do Melbourne Storm all of a sudden turn around and go, "Oh no, he's not a $1 million player. He's a $1.1 million player, or 1.2."
It doesn't change the value of players in the NRL. In terms of, well, it does, to be fair, because if you look at...
It inflates it.
Yeah, if you want to keep a player, you're going to have to pay more.
Yeah.
And I had this conversation with some club CEOs out at Magic Round about Perth, because I said they should be given a greater salary cap. They should have more money to spend because it's not fair.
You've been on this because of the Perth real estate market. They're living away
not
from
even
home.
that. It's just that to make them a success, they need to give them a dispensation, some sort of salary cap, additional salary cap money to spend. But the argument the club CEOs made is, okay, let's say you give them an extra $2 million to spend. Suddenly we are competing with a salary cap, even with players who have no intention of going to Perth, but are getting offers that are inflated by 20% because they have the ability to offer 20% more. So to keep our players, we have to offer more money, but our cap stays the same. So it's a fair argument that
look at the Blake Brayley one, right? All of a sudden, like we know that Cronulla are probably willing to go to they're saying $750 to start with. I reckon they'll have to go to $850. But if Blake Brayley hangs out for Perth, he would not struggle to get $1 million a year.
Market forces.
Yeah. Well, and it'll happen. So and even this argument that it's not going to be a success, it just has to happen. Who cares? Even if it lasts 3 years and players go and cash in and then it falls off because no one's watching it, that doesn't mean the players haven't left for 3 years.
If I was a player, I'd look at it.
Bloody oath.
Yeah. Are Melbourne bracing themselves for a mammoth Cameron Munster play from Perth?
Well, Danny, you spoke to him yesterday.
Yeah. So it's So about Daniel. 2 months ago, Munster's name became one that was suddenly being viewed as the person who Perth would go for. It came out of nowhere, but it was coming from good areas. Now, it has since been well publicised around the place. I know that a number of News Corp journos are pushing the line about Munster, and I thought,
what do you mean by that, champion? Are you having a crack?
I'm not saying it's
Who
wrong.
do you work for? Huh? You've champed him and you just come up with a passive-aggressive, you having a crack? Yeah. It's not even passive-aggressive, it's just aggressive.
There's always a hidden agenda with when he brings up News Corp. What are you trying to suggest?
What I'm saying is he's got an agent who works closely with a lot of those guys.
So you're saying that they're doing him a favour?
That's fine for Braith to, If he wants Munster to be in the headlines, he's got an easy way to do it. If he doesn't, he's got an easy way to do it. Simple as that.
He was asked about it last night. I watched 360, and I think he handled it really well in terms of he said, well, we're going to have a conversation with Melbourne about what the future looks like. And not only does he manage Cameron, he manages Jonah Pezet.
Yeah.
So he's naturally going to have a conversation about what their spine looks like. There's going to be a lot of Munster,
Pezet, and Lachlan Ilias talk in weeks to come.
Yeah, but
fair enough.
With Munster, if it does suit Melbourne, and look, you're telling me it doesn't.
Well, no, I spoke to Melbourne.
Yeah.
I spoke to a couple of very influential people at Melbourne.
Yeah.
They were saying they have no appetite for Cameron Munster to leave before the end of 2027, which is when his contract is up.
But
now, they know, right? They know what's going on. They know the play.
Yeah.
They know that Perth will be there looking to make a marquee signing, and Cameron Munster would be a terrific signing for them.
Yeah, because the story was written a couple of weeks ago by Riccio about how Perth should go after Cameron Munster.
Yeah.
So you're saying that was...
I didn't come down. Did you come down the last shower? No. Am I going down the wrong path?
Okay, but I don't think it's. I think it's a play to just get him more money at Melbourne.
No, I'm not saying that.
And I think they're within their rights to ask Melbourne. No, but I think they're in their rights within their rights to ask Melbourne. How would you feel if we did explore it?
At the moment, that from what I'm told, that conversation hasn't taken place. I think there's been emails exchanged from Melbourne asking, why are we hearing about all this?
Yeah,
because we don't know anything about it.
You get back to it, the fact that the contract situation, Melbourne hold every card that you'd want in this situation. Yeah. Do they not? Because of the overlap with the time when Perth are coming in, they want him there earlier. He's still under contract. Melbourne do not let players just, oh, yeah, cool, go last year of your contract. That doesn't happen with that club.
It doesn't seem to be their style, does it?
No.
But Munster will attract more than $1.5 million from Perth, you'd imagine, per season. Is that unfair?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I
does the cap
don't think
go
he'll
up?
go to 2, but
I just said more than 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5. Like if he goes to 1.5, that's
so. If he wants
marquee.
to cash in, which he deserves, like there is nothing wrong with him doing that. That's where he goes. Melbourne are saying, I think if suddenly Munster came to them and said, "Hey, listen, Perth are going to offer me 1.8 million or something for that year."
Yeah, but
it would be hard for them.
But they're going to argue, how do you know they're going to offer you 1.8 million?
Yeah.
Because you're contracted for us.
Correct.
So but there's going to be a respect given there. I imagine by the conversations that Braith had on 360, that they will have those conversations.
They will happen. They'll start this week. I think there's some emails exchanged.
Yeah.
But I think that there will be an actual conversation between maybe Matt Tripp, the chairman, who has obviously got a lot of the power there. I think he's on vacation at the moment. But I think he will.
A guy like that's always on. He's always available.
But he's also he's someone who's had a big influence on Cameron Munster's career. He's been very influential in his life, and I'm sure he would like to see Cameron Munster stay as a Storm player.
But in this situation, Danny, it's actually a benefit that they're both managed by Braith, Jonah and Cameron Munster, because the club can then, because the situations are intertwined.
Doesn't Jonah Pezet have a clause in his thing about Jahrome Hughes?
Yeah. So in this situation, Cameron Munster's future. So we know Jahrome Hughes is staying. So basically, it means right now that if Cameron Munster stays, Jonah Pezet's gone. And if Cameron Munster wants to go, well, Jonah Pezet will stay. At least you're having that conversation with the same bloke.
Yeah.
And a guy who doesn't have a reputation of trying to leverage situations to destroy clubs. I'm not going to name names, but you know where I'm going. So that is a benefit for Melbourne. I don't think that there's any, like, Braith has kept Jonah Pezet at Melbourne, and if he could have played first grade for the last 2 years anywhere else.
He's definitely done the right thing.
So he's done the right thing by his
developed
clients.
Jonah Pezet at a very good club, and now whether he gets a chance there, though, may depend on his other client.
Yeah. So in this situation, it's okay, well, if Cameron Munster, if he stays, great. If he doesn't, we'll cash in and go. And then Jonah will come to the Melbourne Storm halfback.
But they've got to make that decision soon because Pezet's available now. There are a lot of clubs who want halfbacks.
Oh, I found it very interesting. Judging by, and he was put in a difficult situation, judging by Braith's comments around Lachie Ilias yesterday at the Dragons.
Can you give us what they
were? Just saying that it felt like Lachie Ilias has gone back to New South Wales Cup and has done everything that has been asked of him and hasn't been given a chance back in the NRL despite the struggles of Kyle and the Dragons. I completely understand that thought. But judging by the way he was speaking, I find it very hard to believe, and I'm a Dragons fan, and I would love to see Jonah Pezet at the Dragons. But while Shane Flanagan's at that club, can you see Jonah Pezet going to the Dragons, given the grievances around the way Lachie Ilias has been treated?
No.
So
It's an assumption, but it's a heavily weighted assumption. No.
No,
So-
I can't, because there's been an underlying dissatisfaction with the treatment that Lachie Ilias has had by the Dragons for some time, for weeks.
Yeah.
Because there's been constant references to the winning streak that the St George reserve grade side have been on, the St George Illawarra has been on, and how there's been no inkling of a promotion for Ilias. So, yeah, I think there is no way that Jonah Pezet will be given an easy run towards St George.
2 new Super League teams apparently coming in.
yeah,
2 new NRL teams coming in. Are we worried about the playing stocks being stretched, or is there a sentiment, and nurseries and all of those things? Is there a sentiment that this is actually a good thing? It's going to give a lot of young players a quicker opportunity to crack at first grade,
Yeah, I don't know.
high level with.
I'm worried
the
about
2
this.
Super
Like,
League.
as you said, 2 new Super League teams are going to go through it. There's talk that it's going to be York and Toulouse adding to making it a 14-team comp. We know we're going to 19, potentially 20. It's a lot of. There are a lot of 120 new players you got to find.
Weren't Perth going to get all their players out of Super League in England?
Yeah, well, that's
Remember
true.
that story?
Maybe they've
Maybe
compounded
we
that
can
by-
go back to the American players who are going to step in and rescue the game if there's no players.
Well,
We'll bring all the American players.
Well, the blueprint's got to be the Pacific for PNG. It's not going to happen immediately, but in the next 5 to 10 years, by the time they get to 2035, 80% of that PNG team's got to be locals or Pacific-based
I think that's
players.
what they want.
That's what they want.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to have to do. So that will hopefully, like if they're smart, they're having combines in each country, a Fijian combine, a Samoan combine, a Tongan combine, whoever it is, and just making sure that that is filtered into the PNG system to create that team. But yeah, there's a concern around where these players are coming from because
I've got major concerns.
What clubs? I was, full disclosure, earlier this week, I was at the Panthers Foundation
I
dinner
heard about
and
this actually. I got a DM on social media.
talking to a few.
No, don't change the topic. I'm going to
No,
read it.
no. Talking to a few people there, it was like they're very proud of what they've done there with
they
their
should be.
development processes.
Yeah.
What other clubs have got a system in place, like with a big smirk on
Right,
your
well,
face? Hang
just
on.
guess,
Before I
just-
get my question out, go,
just get it
Chammy. You're
out,
very
Chammy.
proud of
Just-
yourself.
Just the grub that this guy said. I got a message last night. Chammas, I was with Adam Peacock tonight in Penrith for the Panthers Foundation. Asked him if he was having a sleepover at your place, and he said, "I'd rather fall asleep driving home to Mona Vale."
Yes, it's true. It's true.
That's a bit harsh.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I'm with Adam.
I'd rather you fall asleep on the way home to Mona Vale too. Anyway, what was the question you asked?
Do
What
other
clubs are
teams,
doing it right? Like Penrith, obviously very proud of what they've done with their academy. And you actually there is a sentiment that in 5 years' time you're going to see, I don't know, 15 to 20 like ready-made first graders playing for other clubs that played junior rep footy for Penrith, but got that. What's happening now? They're not getting them when they get to so much first grade. It's still happening. But they're getting them at 16, 17.
Toa is a classic, isn't he?
Yeah.
The Bennett pulled
Well,
him
there's
out.
ones earlier, like
Yeah.
Cronulla have got a few. Balmain, who played this year in Flegg, they've got a few Penrith players. So Penrith are obviously doing it right. A few other clubs are doing it right. Are enough doing it right to foster enough players for what's coming at the top
You
end?
can be critical of the halves, of the clubs, but and Penrith are doing a good job. But it's also the demographic of the region they are now in. Like at the end of the day, the people who play rugby league, it's becoming less and less city focused. Like you can be critical of South Sydney and the Dragons and their juniors or the Bulldogs over the years, but it's out west where
And the country areas.
and the country areas. Well, even that to a certain extent.
No, you have a look at the Origin team this year.
Yeah, there's a few actually,
There
but
is
they're
a
all going to
stack
Penrith. They're going to
from
Penrith. Penrith have done
country.
well getting the players out of the country. So I feel sorry for the clubs who are being pigeonholed as being incompetent because of the demographic of the people they've got to deal with.
But what clubs are doing it well? Which ones would you say are known producers of talent?
Well, I think the ones that are doing it well are realising that they haven't got the people in the area and they're building academies from a young age, like the Roosters have done. They don't have Roosters juniors, but they're what they are doing are buying guys from Queensland or New Zealand or from other places in Sydney, bringing them into their academies.
Teaching them the Roosters way.
Teaching them the Rooster way.
Yeah, getting media training from old mate over here at
There was no media
walking
training.
his cat at 4 o'clock in the morning.
No media
Correct.
training.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the blueprint for the teams who don't have. Look at what Melbourne do. That's what Perth are going to have to do. So the ones who are stuck in limbo, who are trying to be a development club and don't want to buy, they're the ones that probably.
Because if Rugby Australia
struggling
sort
at the
their back to rugby, if they sort their out a little bit more and get a back a
Big
foothold
Big
in GPS schools where rugby league have gone into to get a lot of these kids and give them scholarships and all of that. That's what's happened to rugby. They've just totally dropped the ball in that regard.
Totally.
If they go back in and start going, oh no, rugby league, the tap's turned off a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, Scots College is basically a Roosters holding area now.
Souths have got one as well, don't they?
Yeah. Well, the Roosters have got players who are coming from there now. They've got juniors who are there, based out at Scots, and that was once. I played in the GPS system. I went to Sydney High, and Scots were always a very worthy sort of opponent in rugby, but they're now being used as a rugby league nursery. I mean, whilst they're still playing rugby.
Yeah.
But they're probably getting a benefit out of that as well, aren't they? Because they're getting some very good athletes coming through. So but rugby have dropped the ball big time.
But rugby league, it's got to make sure it doesn't drop the ball. Chammy, back to the original point that you wanted on the rundown with these two new teams and here and the other side of the world.
Yeah. Well, it makes it. Yeah. No, I don't think rugby league is dropping the ball, but it's just. You don't want to dilute the product. That's the risk. Like, you're not going to not fill the teams. You're going to fill. It's just the quality of football you're going to get. Are you going to be? Is the competition going to be skewed? That's my concern. It's not going to be a good exercise for the games to have PNG and Perth struggle in their first 5 years because of.
And an equally concerning problem is the coaching. I mean, that's a lot of people talk about. Do we have the coaches as well? So and I think that whilst we can sit here and moan about the playing talent and the drain on it, there's got to be good coaches too.
Well, while Chammy checks his DMs, we'll have a little break and back in a sec to talk about the Dogs, the Galvin Cup, Payne Haas getting a rest, and anything else that Chammy wants to put on the rundown. Guys, all roads lead to Sunday afternoon. You'll hear it on Triple M. The Lachlan Galvin Cup was the Josh Reynolds Cup, but Grubb, he's been relieved of those duties.
He's actually not happy about that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He's blowing up because he thinks that his efforts at the Tigers should really be remembered.
I didn't know it as the Josh Reynolds Cup. I knew it as the Moses Mbai Cup.
Tigers, Dogs. But they'll be without Connor Tracey. It's a pretty serious situation.
Aaron Woods Cup.
Yeah, the Woodsy Cup. Oh, there's a few of those.
Ivan Cleary.
There's a few of those.
Ivan Cleary Cup. It's not even close.
Okay.
What is wrong with you?
Didn't he coach the Tigers and want people to get on the bus? And
Yeah, but he never coached the Bulldogs.
Oh, that's true.
So in order for me to the Ivan Cleary Cup, he had to have coached the Bulldogs.
I missed the theme.
Honestly, why are we on this pod with this
I
guy?
missed the theme. Sorry.
He's just here to stir up News Corp, and that's it.
Connor Tracey.
Abdomen injury.
Mm.
And in hospital till I think 5 a.m. that till Monday morning 5 a.m. And yeah, like he's been ordered. I don't know the name of it. It's quite a complex thing. Do you know the name of it?
Epigastric artery.
That's it.
Oh yeah,
And-
because Philip spoke about it. Yeah.
And
You're an epigastric artery.
3 weeks, nothing, no action. So he's
Oh, poor bloke.
training wise.
No training.
Why is your mind always in the gutter?
Mate, you said 3 weeks, no action. What do you want me to expect?
Rugby. We're talking rugby league.
And it's a blow for the Dogs.
This is not Abby
Oh, no,
Chatfield's.
continue to it with a blow
This is
for the
not Abby
Dogs.
Chatfield's podcast, Chammas. If you want to go on
Chammy,
that,
you
go on
are-
that. This is a rugby league podcast.
To quote Aaron Woods, you're a grub.
Okay. Well, I'm not the one
Continue.
making sexual innuendo
Yeah,
comments
Danny.
on a rugby
But
league
basically,
podcast.
it's just it's a big out for the Dogs. Hopefully, he'll be back for the finals. And Jacob Kiraz, fullback. So we think that's how it's going to play out. But that does mean the Dogs lose a little bit of their. I was going to say potency, but Chammy get too excited again.
No, it's okay.
They're-
Potency's good.
Okay, because with his offloads and that sort of thing, it might hamper that. And his defence is also really important as well.
Connor Tracey is one of those players, Chammy, that you look at on a roster and go, you are playing above your value in terms of what you bring that side, and you
Yeah,
need a
Dylan
few of
Edwards.
those to win a premiership.
Yeah, yeah. It reminds me of Dylan Edwards was when he started to kick for Penrith, right? He was on peanuts compared to what he is now, and he was getting so much. They were getting so much value out of him. Now, I'm not saying that Connor Tracey will kick on and be the next Australian fullback, but it's a similar. He plays a similar style,
Very similar.
energy, similar characteristics, and they're getting similar value out of him. So it's a big blow for them. I don't know if they could they have gone with Crichton at fullback. I reckon defensively, they felt Crichton next to Lachlan Galvin was going to be important for them.
That's interesting.
That would have, Lockie's he's a tall guy, but he's not a big guy. And defensively, there were a couple of things over the last 4 or 6 weeks where you think he could be a bit of a target for opposition teams. But
Like any half.
you need, not having a crack at him, but
Sounds like
Crichton next to him would definitely be beneficial.
Before Vince Lombardi over here gets into the X's and O's too
Sorry
much
for
about
giving you rugby league knowledge.
if you're the Dogs, do you put Lachlan Galvin up for media this week?
No, but I wish they did.
I wish they did. Well, I mean,
Is it like there's more chance of Danny going to,
Penrith.
I don't know, Death Valley for his holidays because it's 46
I'd
degrees?
say so.
there.
Yeah. Look, I don't think he's done a lot of media. He's done a couple of post-game things here and there, Lockie. But I do know that, I mean, this podcast, it comes out on Wednesday afternoon, where today at around 11:30, because we're recording earlier, Jahrome Hughes speaking. And he was obviously a big part of everything that happened at the Tigers. He fronted a media conference when everything was going down and backed Benji Marshall really hard in the playing group. He was very firm. And obviously there's been suggestions throughout that Jahrome Hughes and Lachlan Galvin didn't always see eye to eye when Lockie was there. And it'll be interesting to hear. His comments will be out there by now, but it'll be interesting to hear all his views as well.
I wonder what they would have asked who wants to be up this week. And they could have avoided Luai, given that he was.
Do you get a request in for that? Do you?
No, we just get told.
You just get told.
Like yesterday, I went out to Penrith, and we were under the assumption Liam Martin was speaking. All of a sudden, he didn't because he was crook or something.
He was very crook, apparently.
Right. Did you see him last night?
No, he was a late withdrawal from that too.
Okay, so they were saying he had a bit of a stomach bug or something.
Yes, it's exactly why.
scoop,
So no one wanted him in the room for very good reason.
So Dylan Edwards had to step up and be annoyed by the media. So no, we don't. And so Jerome's just up. So that'll be whatever he's had to say is interesting.
Can you like take us into the journalistic world? Can you say to a club, "Oh look, Lachlan Galvin's the story this week. Can you please put him up?"
You can say it.
You can suggest it, yeah.
But you'll always get a, no, we're in control of this. Or can you cajole someone into...
Oh, yeah, I think you can. Like in this situation, you're not going to convince them to put Lockie up. But if I said to him, oh, you reckon you could put... Well, if Danny went to him and said, do you reckon you could put Jacob Kiraz up? We want to talk to him.
They're playing fullback,
there might be a chance. Yeah, it's a reasonable request.
Yeah, but a noted, this guy's going to get booed on the weekend. We want to talk to him.
They're not putting Taylor May up against Penrith. They're not putting Lachlan Galvin up against the Dogs.
Which is unfortunate.
Tigers,
which is unfortunate because they're the stories you want to hear from the people.
But it's gonna,
and it ends up people talking about other people. But even like
they don't want that. Clubs don't want that. No. They don't care about selling the game. Like, imagine Lachlan Galvin spoke this week. How much would we be talking about what he said?
You might turn up at that press conference.
I would turn up at that press conference.
On Monday, Adam, was really weird. There was not. On a day when the Lions are going to be part of this week, the British Lions, and rugby's going to have a big say in the week, the sporting week, there was not one single NRL club available for media on Monday. Not a club.
Okay.
Which is really weird and poorly planned, I think.
I think they wanted to see what you said on 100% footy first before they put their players up.
Chammy, you are.
I actually noticed something on 100% footy.
There we go.
You asked Gus about Jahrome Hughes, how close he was to going to the Dogs.
Well, I can ask. Well, yeah.
And he said he wasn't close to going.
Well,
to
I
the
think
Dogs.
he was.
I think it was very. I think the Bulldogs had a message from Jahrome Hughes indicating that he was going to join the club.
Saying what? Just I'm there.
He was indicating that he was going to join the club.
You can ask him at this press conference that has
already happened.
Already happened.
Yeah,
you can get in our time machine and listen to this, and then go back and see what.
And I don't think the money
was
all too much different to what the Dogs were going to pay. I know in the end there might have been some other things, some third parties that helped him get across the line. But interesting that he denied that Jahrome was close.
He denied it pretty hard too.
He did very hard.
Lockie cops it on Sunday, doesn't he?
Oh,
Yes. Look, and
that's the way it goes. And he probably knows that.
As he should.
You know what? I think he'll handle it
He'll be
because
fine.
Whose home game is it? Tiger.
Yeah.
Tigers home.
Tigers.
It's at CommBank.
But there'll be a stack of Dogs fans.
And look, didn't he? Do you remember when he got dropped out of the team of the Tigers, and then he came back? I think did they play the Sharks, and he got brought back in at Leichhardt. Was that the game? I could be wrong, but there was booing and stuff then, and that was a high pressure game.
No, this is going to be different.
Yeah, no, but it was still a high pressure game for a kid,
Yeah.
and that was in the middle of it all, and he handled it. And I've only
You
had
can't hear it. He would not hear it.
I don't know if he'll hear it or
No
not.
chance.
He's lucky he's not a goal kicker.
No, you're running into
Could
guys.
you imagine him lining up a conversion from the
Yeah,
sideline?
but that happens.
Oh, there would be. I would have loved
But
to hear.
it'll be one of those events, and you see it in other sports sometimes, that every touch there'll be at least one guy, and probably next to a fax mic somewhere, just like his sole intent for going to that game on Sunday will be every time that guy touches the ball, boo!
Yeah, as it should be.
And
And you'll just hear it in the background.
Fans
As
are
it should
entitled
be.
to do that, and
They should be filthy with him.
the whole exit was.
That doesn't make him a bad bloke, but he walked out on their club.
They're allowed to do it.
Sounds like you're going to go there and do it.
No, I've been neutral in all this.
He just boos Isaac Moses
Yeah.
whenever he sees him.
Will Isaac be there?
Chammy, read the comments on every video we do on the West Tigers on this particular podcast.
I know they hate me, but I'm
they
defending
don't.
him in
You
this
have
situation.
not been neutral.
You're
You're trying to tear a rugby league club apart.
Tigers fans are delusional when it comes to the coverage of their club.
Hey,
But in
Chammy-
this situation, they have every right to
Gee,
boo
that's
the
going
guy.
to help your relationship
You
with
know,
him. Call
you
him
know how
delusional.
you like to refer to things that happen on 100% footy, and you seem to know a lot about what happens on that show.
Yeah,
Did you hear Kennedy Cherrington's comments?
I heard about them. Yes, I did.
So she's a Parramatta player, and she came on the show and started off by saying, "Oh wow, I'm really happy that I can be on this show. I thought that Mitch Moses has got us all banned from being on here."
Wow, that's the power of Chammas.
Well done, Kennedy.
Well, you got so much power that
Hey.
I'm handing over.
Oh.
I've
Where
got
you
to
going?
go. I've got the heart out.
Can I? Come
You're actually
with you?
leaving.
Yes, I
You
do.
start the show without me, and now you're going to walk out.
Can I-
What do you
can
got
I
on?
Please come.
Huh?
Unless it's a funeral, I don't want to know about it.
Well, it could be if I don't go to it. So it
Wow. Okay.
could be
well,
my financial funeral if I don't go to this meeting. So I've got to
Can I
go.
come, please?
Yeah, sure. Chammy can just
we're
talk
not
to
ending the
himself.
podcast. We're going to continue.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
I want to go.
I will listen.
I want to go.
I will
too.
listen back, and I will be taking notes.
Okay.
I want to leave
Can
as
you?
well.
Can you
I'm going to
leave?
give you a
See,
performance
you're
review.
out, hard out.
Last
Go on.
15 minutes, I'll give you a performance review next week,
Okay.
Chammy. Have fun, guys. Good to see you, Danny.
Nice to see you, mate.
Good to
Take it
see
easy.
you. Yeah.
Now
Chammy,
that
I'll see
now
you.
that I have complete control of the situation, let's get juicy. Your column on the weekend, Tiffany Salmond. That was interesting. I'll tell you what, that was the. See, Adam, all the best, buddy.
Boring.
Mate, that was very well read on the Sydney Morning Herald website. I believe one of the highest rating stories as we have had in 3 years.
Really?
Your decision to write that story, what was going through your head?
So the reason I decided to do it or thought about doing it was I went to, as you know, Chammy, I go to media conferences around the place, wherever, and at 2 separate media conferences, all I heard the journos talking about
Yeah.
was Tiffany Salmond, and I thought, why? Why is this such a topic? And then I followed her on Instagram, and I looked at a number of the
Did she
things.
follow you back?
No, we had been following each other for a while,
Oh, okay.
and on my 9 News one, and I saw some of the things she'd been alluding to, so I thought, well, give her the opportunity to answer some questions. So I contacted her. She agreed to do it, but she wanted to do it via email and answer questions that way. So I put a range of questions to her through email, and she promptly answered them. She answered at length. There was thousands of words of answers, and we ran most of them some of them in my column on Sunday and more online, and obviously people were interested. If you're saying it was one of the top, and look, not everything she said has gone down well with people. I don't think she liked the headline that we put on the story,
Which was?
I can't even remember. Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't. Something to do with too sexy for whatever. And I've tried to contact her since the story, and I've had no reply to my contact.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She's not happy?
So maybe she didn't like it.
Wow.
So, and I thought it was just pretty straight up and down, like question answer. You know, that's her point of view, and I don't know why there's been no reaction. Maybe the headline didn't go down well.
All right, we'll move on to some footy topics because I do want to talk about Payne Haas. No rest this week. A lot of talk about whether Michael Maguire should be giving his best player a break before the finals. Do you think that Madge is doing a disservice to his front row, or he has to do whatever it takes to get as high up on that ladder?
Well, Payne Haas has proved time and again how valuable he is for Brisbane, first of all. Like they can't go to where they need to go in this competition without him. Forget all the superstars, forget everybody else. I think Payne Haas is now their most important player. Am I wrong in saying?
Yeah, no, he is.
And I understand the need to get him on the field. I interviewed him in Origin, and he said that his back has not been right all year. Eventually, it's going to catch up with him. I don't know what a week's rest will do for Payne Haas. I don't know if it'll fix him. We saw what a totally different injury, but we saw Bronson Cherry. He was struggling a few weeks back because he'd been carrying a groin. He had a week off. Against Manly, he was
superb.
He was unbelievable.
Yeah,
that's as good a game as I've seen from Bronson Cherry. I don't know how much effect a week rest will have for Payne Haas. But there is a narrative.
Do we even know if Payne Haas wants to have the week off? Maybe they're trying to give him one. Do we know?
He's not the sort of guy who likes that.
Maybe he doesn't want to have a week off.
Yeah, he's that phrase built different. He's built different.
Well, his whole motivation is to win a premiership for Brisbane.
Yeah.
And if he's going to take a rest, maybe he feels as though that's going to reduce their chance.
Top four. Yeah, all that stuff. And he's a selfless guy, Payne.
Yeah.
As you see in his private life, what he's doing, raising his own kids, raising his brother and sister. His brother. Sorry. And what he's doing off the field just shows what a selfless individual he is. And I think that translates to what he's going to do, what he's doing on the field. He's selfless. He puts his team first. In Origin, he couldn't do anything. He comes out on the field, I think, and he's brilliant. You know what I mean? He works his backside off. But there's a narrative that this is another reason to bash up Michael Maguire. I don't know if this is why you brought it up.
No,
because you like to give it to Madge in the way
No, I don't. Bash
you do.
Madge. No, I did at the Tigers because I was of the belief that people were unhappy with his methods.
Yeah.
I haven't bashed him at the Broncos.
Right. Okay. Well, there's a belief that the whole narrative about the off-season training and army camps and spew buckets and all. There's some people who don't like to see the way that Michael Maguire drives his team hard, but the Broncos are a club that needs that. And I'm all on board what Madge is doing. Not everybody's going to like it. Whether it succeeds or not, we're going to find out.
Yeah.
But with Payne, he's a warrior, isn't he? So I haven't talked to him personally about whether he wants to play or not.
Well, I remember people were critical of Madge for not letting Selwyn Cobbo go to the Dolphins immediately, and this is exactly why. He's been recalled to the team.
Yeah.
You cannot, if you are thinking you're a genuine chance of winning a premiership. Mm-hmm. They've already paid him a lot of his money. Why would you let him go to the Dolphins mid-season when you need the depth? And he's been recalled on the back of a disappointing performance against Parramatta. And that's why Michael Maguire was right not to let him go. Do you agree?
Yeah. I can't disagree. I'd like to disagree with you on it, but yeah, I can't disagree.
We're going to end on that note because I love when people agree with me. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get David Gingill to call me back. Well, he did. He called me twice, but I didn't want to.
Why
answer
are you
it.
so obsessed?
Because I want to hear if the story you're telling is true or not.
It might not be that important in his life. Whether it's.
Do you think I care if people think it's important or not? I'm just annoying. Let me be annoying. Okay.
You are extremely annoying.
Anyway, thank you for letting me host, Adam. I don't know where you are right now. It was so important to brush this podcast and start without me, but we'll be back next week.
Hopefully.